Started this upper body training session with a top end triple on the incline bench with 256.5 pounds. Starting to get slow, but still moving forward, milking that linear progression for everything that I can. Backed it off to 230.5 pounds and built up that foundation of volume, 4 more triples respectively. Back to the thick bar supinated close grip pull downs, 115 pounds, cleared 5 sets of 15 respectively. The forearms, as per usual, were absolutely toasted by the end. I can definitely feel the crushing power considering the musculature of my hand is developing quite rapidly. Now, as soon as these were complete, I went into rack pulls for 3 sets of 10 repetitions, working with 250 pounds and not using any straps on this because this is primarily here, yes, for trap development, but also for grip strength development. And when I am prioritizing grip strength development or it's a consideration with an exercise selection, I don't want to use straps because it takes away the benefit that I'm looking to gain from prioritizing that exercise. Now, as soon as I cleared all 10 reps here, I transitioned into some dumbbell extensions, and these absolutely blasted my triceps using the 40-pound dumbbells. I managed to clear 15 reps on the first 2 sets, but I barely squeezed out 10 reps on the final 2 sets. But sometimes that's just how she goes. Finished off with some rope tricep press downs after this. I actually did 2 sets here for 12 repetitions on the rope press downs, but then as soon as I was complete those 2 sets, I ended up doing a third drop set with a very light weight, and then I racked it off for 30 consecutive repetitions. So I love rope press downs. Honestly, they're one of my favorite tricep variations. Unfortunately, I very rarely put them as a primary tricep exercise because I just can't move much weight with them. So all in all, great session. Lower body volume day was great, running 290 pounds for a primary set of 5 reps before backing off to 257.5 pounds for 4 sets of 5. The volume is really building up on the SSB, and I'm finding that my back strength is developing a lot from this as well. Not to mention, I'm feeling pretty confident that I'm going to run this SSB right past 400 pounds. I'm feeling very confident on this lift. Transition from here into some stiff leg deadlift work, 215 pounds for 3 sets of 10. I'm very surprised that I'm still running the progressions on the stiff leg deadlift with relative ease. It's never something I've really considered doing heavy, but again, my mindset is changing with training, and my secondary exercises, I'm programming them obviously in respective rep ranges, very similar to how I would a primary lift. And then I finished off with 2 sets of walking lunges, 162 pounds for sets of 8 per leg. All in all, it's safe to say that my legs were pretty tired after this lower body training session. Great lower body training session today. The SSB felt actually super smooth, very easy at 290 for a top end set of 5. I was surprised how easily that weight moved. So gonna jump in the shower now, clean up, and get ready for some appointments. Pretty busy until early afternoon, and then a nice big gap of time to work on my latest course. Late night training session, not my favorite thing to do, but once in a while, it's how it's got to get done. Under the bench press, not liking my wrist positioning on the bench press. This is something that needs to be fixed, and this is part of the reason that I take these videos, so I can refer back to them and see how I'm executing certain lifts, because it's tough to pay attention when you're actually doing the work. So I don't like the fact that under heavier loads, my wrist position is absolutely horrific, and even under moderate loads, it's not optimal. So I'm going to have to work on that. That's definitely something that needs to be addressed before we start repping out 315 for sets of 10, because one day it'll happen. And then transitioned here into the wide grip hammer grip row on the belt squat, and I'm really going to like this long term because with belt squat rows I can actually load them with fractional weights, so I can micro progress the volume and load over time as needed as I get stronger. Then into a barbell face pull, which is more like a neck pull, but it's really good for developing the rear delts, and I'm very much enjoying this exercise variation. Cranked it out for 3 sets of 20 across before moving into some high rep work on the tricep press downs. 52.5 pounds in the 25 to 30 rep range with the straight bar. So I often alternate between heavy triceps and high rep tricep work. I like them both. I love having strong triceps to help lock out those big presses, but I also like having big triceps so that I can split some sleeves on my shirts. So all in all, some serious volume got cranked out here. I cleared the first 3 sets for 30 across, and then the final set I barely got 25 because the burn was absolutely ridiculous. And then into an alternating dumbbell curl using the 20-pound dumbbells for 25 reps per arm. And I was kind of surprised that I was able to clear so many reps per arm. I gave myself a base rep range of 20 with a top end range of 25 reps. And, obviously with an alternating curl, you can incorporate a little bit more momentum, so you can usually crank out a few more repetitions. And if you were to do both arms at the same time with a little more strict range of motion, but I was definitely surprised that I cleared all 25 reps, so that was a pretty significant volume progression there. But considering as much, I'm pretty sure I can curl a lot more weight just as a byproduct of all of the thick handle work I've been incorporating and the grip strength work I've been prioritizing, as well as the heavier upper back work. My biceps are getting very strong as a byproduct, even though I don't do very much direct bicep work almost ever. So that's a wrap. So absolutely nothing about me felt like getting in the weight room this evening. Had a course all day long, was tired, had a bit of a headache, and just generally felt drained. But showed up, got under the bar, had a little bit of a slow start, and then rolled through with some big volume PRs on basically everything, actually. I think I moved like 6 PRs today between volume and max lifts. There's some new exercises in there, but regardless, progress is progress. So all in all, I'm glad I got in the weight room because the gym is always priority 1. First thing Sunday morning, we got rack pulls today. Higher rep set, 5 reps, so hopefully form isn't as horrific as it was last time we pulled a top end single on these bad boys. Also some front squats that are going to precede those, and then back off to a course for the rest of the day, wrapping it up this afternoon. Nailed the front squats for a set of 5 with 280 pounds. Really pleased with the depth on these front squats, and just the general consistency of quality of form. I used to struggle a lot with front squats. I still struggle just a little bit now, consistently struggle, but I'm definitely feeling much more confident with the front squat than I ever have in my life, as well as the setup, maybe just doing them on a regular basis. The reality is that when I step back and get into position, I feel confident, which is not something I used to experience. I always felt kind of out of position. Finished off with some heavy rack pulls, 460 for a top end set of 5. You'll notice I have the straps out right now because I'm not worried about grip strength. I'm worried about prioritizing the development of my posterior chain, and that was a wrap because I couldn't get to the reverse hyperextension work today because I had to get to that course. 5 reps, and we called it quits.